I can't be the only one that since Shadowlands was released found the Arbiter to be quite odd, to say the least. She is said to be an Eternal One, but all the other Eternal Ones seem more human-like. Even the Jailer himself, well, the Arbiter gives this weird impression of a robot, some type of a computer. Because of this and a few other bits of information, many have been speculating that the Arbiter isn't even an Eternal One and she is in fact a construct built by someone else. Could this be the case? Brought to you by Gamivo.com. Make sure to click the link in the description and get Shadowlands as well as game time at discounted prices. Right off the bat, let's start with the counter-argument. So, it was said that the Arbiter is an Eternal One and a part of the pantheon of death, but it wasn't said that she was a true Eternal One. We get the reference that she is a part of the pantheon by Blizzard themselves, and the servants of her in Oribos mentioned that when you go to Bastion to see Kirestia, that she's an Eternal One just like their beloved Arbiter. Now, this is about all the information that we have that confirms this bit. However, just because her servants believe this, it doesn't mean that she is actually one, or maybe they were all deceived. And honestly, it makes a lot of sense that the Arbiter is a construct, an artificial Eternal One. Even as a construct, she could still technically be a part of the Pantheon, just not as an actual Titan of Death. Now, let's start off with some of the evidence that we do have. The most general one is Oribos itself. Oribos definitely has a strange look, and it really reminds me of Order. It really looks Titan-like. The city itself seems to have been built on top of something. To me, it doesn't really seem like this is the original structure of Death of the Afterlife. I believe that Oribos could have been built atop of a stream of souls where all of them come through naturally, sort of as something to add order to death itself. Honestly, Oribos looks like a dam or a construction that is meant to give direction to the otherwise disorderly death. Now, the most damning bit of evidence is the cinematic that you see once you finish Revendred and the main storyline. All the Eternal Ones assemble and talk about the Jailer breaking free and what is to come. Now, the devil is in the details here. You see 5 different platforms, however, 4 of them are taken and the final one is empty, and that one has a star, and just the way it is placed and the way it looks at others seems like this is where the leader of the Pantheon would stand, the one giving directions to the others. Now, the Arbiter herself doesn't actually have her own platform and is just like floating around in the background, and no one even mentions her, no one really even cares about her. The Eternal Ones say that their brother Primus is missing and that their brother Denatrius can betray them, but they literally don't even reference the Arbiter, they don't mention her, they don't talk about her, and the fact that she's just like floating above them, functionally dead. This is where the Jailer steps in. The Jailer has been confirmed to be an Eternal One, and the rest of the Pantheon does mention him as one of them. However, Kirestia calls him a monster, very emotionally as well, which definitely implies he did something quite bad, which is why they ultimately imprisoned him. We still don't know what that is, but the most obvious bit of evidence is that hole in the chest of the Jailer and the heart that the Arbiter possesses in much the same place. This fact alone has been the seed of like a million different speculations. It really seems like that one empty platform is where the Jailer would have stood, but in the cinematic, it is completely empty, like there is no one there. Even Primus, who is also missing, at least he has his banner there, but this platform with a star that seems like it was placed for a leader is entirely vacant. In my opinion, this could imply that long ago the Jailer might have been the main Eternal One and the actual controller of death, or maybe some type of a first one that actually seeded the Eternal Ones. The Jailer did something really bad, really monstrous, which we don't know anything about at the moment, which endangered the Shadowlands, or at least that is what the other Eternal Ones say. Then, these Titans of Death banded together and they imprisoned him inside the maw, which might have existed previously but was rebuilt and repurposed for his prison. They took out his heart and then created this Arbiter machine, placed the heart there and just let the computer do the job, sort of with the logic like let's use a construct to do the main bulk of the work since we can't trust someone with a mind of his own and with his own ambitions to direct souls. Now, the heart of the forest in Ardenweald was said to have empowered the prison, and all the realms seem to work as a part of this prison. prison for the jailer, and they all siphon soul energy in one way or another. So my speculation is that long ago that was more uncontrolled and that the jailer was the main character, but then the Eternal Ones, or the first ones, rebuilt Oribos as it is, as something might have been here before. They placed the construct Arbiter with the main purpose of directing souls to the appropriate realms so that all of them get power equally and that the prison machinery works well. This inadvertently enslaved all the mortals from the entire universe, or maybe they did it on purpose, and forced them to just become a cog in this machine. Look at it this way, Bastion just takes mortals with an inclination to serve, so they bring souls, and they're literally glorified like taxi drivers and couriers. Maldraxxus is the military to protect this machinery. Wheel seems to take the energy of all nature from the entire universe, which pretty much every planet on the entire cosmos has, and Revendred siphons energy from the arrogant souls, which usually tend to be the most powerful ones, as these are generally rulers and important figures, therefore the most potent source of anima. Now, of course, all of this is just speculation at the moment, but I gotta admit that it does make sense. Also, the way the Arbiter communicates, shrieks, and behaves really makes her seem like a robot or a construct. It just gives me a really weird vibe. So I definitely think that this theory is promising, as the Arbiter might not in fact be an Eternal One, and I think the reveal of the first ones will explain everything, and maybe their connection with the Titans, as it really seems like someone long ago just started enforcing order onto that itself, which shouldn't really be a very orderly realm, and I guess it could even lead more towards chaotic, while Oribos itself and these realms seem to have been ordered to like the tiniest details, and with these robots and constructs, it just smells of like Titan interference and the realm of order. Thank you for watching. Check out how the Void invaded Shadowlands by clicking on the screen, and also check out Doronsmovies Academy for videos on real-world history and science. See you next time.